And welcome back. Head of the Charles 2024. I am here with Etta Carpenter. I'm so excited to interview Etta. She is an alum from UT, two-time national champion, and also you're currently at the Princeton Training Center. Am I correct?
Yes,
All
I
right.
am. Yes, been there
Love
for
it.
3 weeks.
Yes. How's it going so far?
It's good. There aren't a lot of people there. I mean, I think that's pretty classic for a post-Olympic year.
Okay.
But yeah. But for now, there's 4 sweep girls. I think there's
Okay.
gonna be more after this
Okay.
weekend. And yeah, it's just been really good to like kind of ease into it and like
Good.
get familiar with the whole process.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that there's not a lot of people there will help to just, I don't know, make it less stressful in the spring when more people come.
Yeah.
You know?
True indeed. So let me ask you if you're there, so you are living there and training there full time.
Yes.
How's it? How does it feel different than when you were in college?
I mean, I think, obviously, like, we are missing a little bit of, like, the big team aspect. Like, they're just, I mean, again, there aren't a lot of people there. So there's that. And I'm not in school. So, yeah, I don't have to, like, rush off to class after every practice. I am living in a house, so I'm not with
Okay.
a host family. I'm in a house with of the other girls.
Okay.
So that is nice because that kind of feels a little bit more like college, like a little bit more
Yeah.
um
More
yeah.
relaxed in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
No, not as
Exactly.
rigid. You're living in someone's home, their rules and their belongings. I get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So there's that. But yeah, it's been great.
So I want to know. Let's go back to the beginning. What got you into the sport of rowing?
Yeah,
Why did you
so
start rowing?
yeah, so
Rowing.
that's such a good question. So yeah, I'm from Denver, Colorado. So there's not a
Okay.
lot of rowing
Oh wow.
there, if you can imagine that, because it's
Yeah.
Colorado.
Yeah.
And so I actually started because my brother was friends with a couple kids in middle school that
Okay.
had just joined a really small program called Mile High Rowing Club.
Mhm.
And they row out of Cherokee Reservoir in uh, southern Denver.
Okay.
And so he started rowing and he rowed all 4 years of high school. And during that period, the coach was always like, "Oh, like you're tall, like you should row." And I was always like, "What? Like, no, I think I'm gonna do like volleyball or something." But I
Yeah.
was so bad at volleyball. So that was actually not gonna be an option at all. And so yeah, I ended up trying rowing and I liked it and I loved, I think, and like the bigger part that I liked about it was just the people. Like I loved people. I made some of my best friends that I still talk to this day when I was in 8th grade joining the team. Yeah. And so it was just so funny though, because my brother was always like, "No, like rowing's my thing. Like I'm like, you can't row. That's like, it's like my thing." And I'd be like, "Okay, like, yeah, you can have it, whatever." And then I started it and he made it through like a month of college of collegiate rowing, and then he was like,
He
never
quit? Oh
mind.
no.
Yeah, so rowing is my thing now.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So now that we've established how you started, I know you went to UT.
Yes.
So is it safe to say that one of your career highlights would be winning the NCAAs twice?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you
for
remember
sure.
which boat were you in?
For the last 3 years, I've been in the first 8 at
Oh, right.
Texas, which has
Oh,
been
V1.
so exciting. My freshman year, I went as a spare.
Yes.
So that was also just a cool experience. Like coming from a small program like Mile High and coming in and being a spare was like, that was way better than I thought I was gonna do, you know? And so I was stoked about that. And then, yeah, then for the
So you
last
still
3
got a
years.
plaque though, right?
I
The
did.
2019? Yeah, I was
Yeah,
there.
because we got 4th place in 2019, and I
Okay.
still got a 4th place. Or no.
No,
Oh my gosh.
second
In 20. Yes, sorry.
in
I don't know what.
2019.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
a couple years before we got 4th place.
That's
But
right.
no, in 2019 we got 2nd place. So I do have a 2nd place trophy
Oh,
at my home in Denver, which is
yeah.
awesome.
So cool.
Yeah, so I did still get a trophy, which was cool.
That's when they
That's
started
fair.
line dancing on the stage.
It is. Yeah, that was that iconic
Yes.
moment of us.
I remember that. That was so
Yeah.
cool. Oh, wow. And then we, of course, missed for 2020 because of COVID. And then 2021, you were in the V1 in 21?
No, I actually had taken a gap year.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
my collegiate experience has been super interesting. So I did my freshman year,
Okay.
and then my sophomore year, COVID hit, and I went home, and I just
Okay.
decided to stay home. At first, I was like, I'm just gonna take the fall off, and then I was having a blast at home. I was like working at a restaurant. My brother was home. We were like
Yeah.
hanging out all the time.
Okay.
And so I was like, nah, I am actually just gonna take the full year off.
Okay.
Also because I wasn't like definitely wasn't like working out enough and
Mm.
whatnot. And so I was like going back in the spring would be kind of brutal, you
Yeah.
know?
Ooh, especially with Dave O'Neal.
Yeah. Yeah. And I actually had one of the coaches at the time call me and be like, like, is it really a good idea for you to come back right now? And I was like,
Fair indeed.
no, probably not. So yeah, I ended up just taking the full year off. And
Okay.
then fall of 2021, I came back
Okay.
and I still had 3 more years of eligibility.
All right.
And so I just took all 3. And yeah, that's
22.
that.
It was it.
So yeah, so I was in the
Woo.
boat in 2022, 2023, and then 2024.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
So, I remember 22 repeating because now you have the target on your back
Yeah.
because now you're already the champion. And now it's like, can they repeat again? And you did.
Yes.
And that was just, okay. Let's talk
Yeah.
about that V1 for just a minute.
That was an insane boat.
That
yeah.
was so fast. Just how the open water was ridiculous.
Yeah.
You could see the life leave from Stanford's body
Oh.
after the first 500 because whoever won, because it was tied up. So whoever won
Yeah.
the V1 would be the champion.
Yeah.
By 500, there was already clearly slight overlap. By 1,000, it was over.
Yeah.
1,500, there was an ocean of water between, and you could just see the dejection on
Yeah.
everyone's face. And of course, being a super fan, I'm running down the beach
Yeah.
already with the flag. Open water, clear water, screaming and stuff, and they're hating that. So, gotta throw salt in the wound a little bit,
Yeah.
So, but that was just such an amazing, that was fantastic. 23,
Yeah. That year, I don't know. I think as a team, we had some things that we had to learn.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like that was a great, as an athlete, like I just see that year as like a great lesson
that's right.
on like how to be a good teammate, how to like rally a team, how to train correctly,
That's
you
right.
know, like that. It was a learning year. And like, like, I don't know, 4th place is still amazing.
Fantastic. That's right.
You know,
You're top 4 in the
we
country.
talk about it like we like didn't even make the V final, but like we still did very well.
You left top 4 in the country. And then the
Yeah.
following year, you repeat.
Yes.
So let's talk about 2 things that you did and reason why I wanted to interview you today.
Yes.
2024, Texas regains their title. To be top 4 in the country the last 4 years, who can say that? And to
Yeah.
be the champion 3 out of the 4 years. But let's talk about your advocacy,
Yes.
about you being bold enough to talk about an injustice when you see it. So 2024 happens. NCAAs are going on in Ohio.
Yeah.
You mentioned on social media some things that you noticed, some disparities.
Yes.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
So what are some of the disparities that you saw?
Yeah. So, I mean, to start, when we were like pulling up to the race course, for our first practice day, we actually got lost going to the race course because there was no like NCAA championship this way. Like there was nothing
I got
along
lost too
those
the first
lines.
day trying to go.
Yeah, it was
There was
so
no signage,
sad.
nothing.
Yeah, there was one little sign that
was
said,
about this size
yes,
that said
it
regatta.
literally was like this
It had one
size,
little
and
arrow.
it said regatta with an arrow, and I was like, okay, this is like, yes, regatta is the right term. You got
Yes.
that right. Good job. But like, this is a little bit more than just a regatta.
But
This
it was
is,
a
like,
sign that you put in the ground
Yes.
that was real low, and it
no,
was
it
not
was like
much bigger than
a
this.
like for sale like
Yes.
lawn sign that they like taped over. It was so sad. Yeah, we
bad.
were all like, oh,
Yeah.
okay,
So this is
cool.
where we go. And then you had 2 more turns, so you had to figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
You get to the venue.
Yeah, we get to the venue. I mean, yeah, I don't know. They did a good job at like setting every team up with like a tent,
Yes.
whatnot.
Tell them about your luxurious accommodations
I
where your tent
know.
was.
Yeah, and I feel like such a diva complaining about this, but but nobody like we were probably within like 5 feet of the porta potties, like
Yes.
warming up, and like
It was
yes,
horrible.
like yeah, I can feel a little bratty like complaining about it, but like nobody wants to do
Nobody wants to.
that,
You
you know?
smell it.
Yeah, like nobody wants to do that.
You
Like that
already
is
see it day one. By day four,
yeah, like that is like
you don't want that.
like sure, yes, like we'll tough it out, whatever. But like also, where the venue is big, like you can put the
Yes, it
porta potty
was.
somewhere else.
It was enormous.
You
Yes, it
know,
was.
right?
Exactly. Let me talk about your Instagram posts and some of the memes that you did, because the one where you put your face in the sign by the porta potty, it was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm bringing this up is because Texas won.
Mm-hmm.
However, Princeton finished fourth.
Yes.
Now, Texas was fourth the year before,
Yes.
but every year
Mm-hmm.
you have 4 trophies that are given out to
Yeah.
the top 4. But this year, NCAA decides to change it up
Mm-hmm.
and only give out to the top 3.
Yeah.
So Princeton is standing there at the awards tent, the awards podium, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember standing beside a Princeton parent and one of the young ladies from Princeton. They're waiting for their trophies and they're looking, and the mom was like, I said, 1, 2, they're missing. I said, they don't have a 4th place trophy.
I
And she said,
know.
no. And I said, oh my God. And when they started calling out the awards for the team, and they did first, they did for the individual boats.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness Princeton did have a boat in this 4 width. They finished second.
Yeah.
And I remember them, the young lady getting a plaque, but it was other teammates who were there, get to the team trophies, and they called 3rd place. And she said, well, what about, I said, they don't call 3 before they call 4.
Yeah.
And the moment that she realized there was no trophy for her, the emotion, how she cried, oh my God, that just was so heartbreaking to see. You
Mhm.
put all this work in, you expecting to at least have something tangible in your hands. Because I
Yes.
feel like that when I row. I want something tangible in my hands to be the evidence of my efforts.
Mhm.
And then they didn't receive it. And instead of saying, okay, I got my 1st place trophy, I got what I came for,
Mhm.
you let it, and it just let it go on. You didn't do that.
Yeah.
Instead, Etta put her feet down and Etta went to work. Please tell them what you did.
Yeah. So in my video, I started off. I thought that the 4th place trophy issue was probably I don't know. That was just like that just made me sad because again, our team got 4th the year before,
That's right.
and like I know how they're feeling. You know, like
Yes.
sometimes getting 4th place is not exactly what you want, but you like still getting a trophy, like still being on the podium, like it's like
Yes.
okay, awesome. You
Right.
know, like we still did that. You
Mhm.
know. But so yeah, I put myself in their shoes and I did. That was like what I started off with in my video
And
that I
you said
made.
they won 4th place. I
Mhm.
love that. A lot of people don't understand that they won
Yeah.
4th place because
Yeah.
others would have been they wouldn't have given to have a 4th place
Mhm.
trophy. You know?
Yeah, like 4th is amazing.
Yes, it
There are
is.
what, like 120 D1 women's rowing teams in the country, roughly.
That's right.
To get 4th place is
Right.
insane. It's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that deserves to be recognized.
Absolutely.
And I completely understand. Like I know that a lot of people came up to me with the argument of like, well, in other sports they don't have a 4th place trophy. Like
Yeah.
that's not or
Well, they
like
do in
outside of the
basketball.
NCAA, like they don't have a 4th place trophy. Like in the real world, they don't have a 4th place trophy. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know, like yes,
Exactly.
yes, I know. Like I'm so aware. But the
Mhm.
NCAA, that is something that they have market like the Final Four and March Madness.
Come
That is
on.
something that they have marketed so aggressively that like like they
Yeah.
should just make it a staple for all sports, and they
They did.
had
They
for
did.
so
Track
long.
and field as well.
Yes,
Exactly.
for like every Olympic sport, they had 4th place trophies, and then
Exactly.
one year they just decided to take it away without really telling
No
anyone.
notice whatsoever.
Yeah,
That's right.
and it's just so like that's super odd to me. And also
Yes.
like, okay, yeah, if you decide that you want to take it away, like you have to make budget cuts, whatever. whatever,
say something.
then tell everyone. But the fact
Yes.
that they didn't tell anyone and the whole Princeton team was there to receive their trophy and no one had told them like, hey, like, by the way, guys, like, we don't have that this year. It was like, ugh, like, kind of
Exactly.
messed up.
That's right.
Yeah. And I, again, like, I think about us getting fourth in 2023.
That's right.
If we had, if that had been us, if we had showed up, that would have been just devastating to our team.
Yes.
Like,
You're absolutely right.
absolutely, yeah, we would have been so sad about that.
But you went to work and you put the effort in and you made the NCAAs take a look at themselves. They're cheering for those, whoever's
Yeah.
rolling by is putting in some effort and they're hollering for them. All right. That's what I think they're having the adaptive doubles that are coming by right now.
Cool.
So
Okay.
that is so fantastic. Yeah. I just saw an adaptive double who I interviewed earlier. They just came by.
Oh my god.
And they're going after the records. I hope they get it.
Awesome.
But and there's Eamon Glavin. Oh wow!
Oh.
Right, I know all the celebrities are here.
Wow.
But you made the NCAA's take a look at themselves.
hmm
You made them step back and say, "Oh my God, I need to right a wrong
Yeah.
and to make a collegiate federation, a national federation in
Mhm.
sport, say, okay, you know, we were wrong.
hmm
We need to fix this." And they did. They sent those trophies to Princeton.
They did, yeah. And so I actually did a little Googling because I was like, what, like, did any other team get them? And I think that they ended up sending them to all of the teams that had gotten fourth. I could be super wrong about that, but I know that the Iowa, I'm pretty sure it's the Iowa wrestling, men's wrestling team also got
Alright.
fourth place. And they also were like, why did you get rid of this trophy? And they also sent them to them. Like, I know that the Iowa men's wrestling team got their fourth place, so I would assume that they would just send them to most sports, but I could be super wrong about that.
Look what you did.
Yeah.
Not only just
I
for
hope
one
that they
team,
did. I
you
hope that
did
they
it for
did.
men and women.
Yeah.
Talk about equality and really fight. I love it. That's
Thank
all
you.
right. I'm telling you, I was like, that's a bad woman. That's it. I
Same.
love it. The thing is, I hope that I know that the athletes who were on Princeton's team really appreciated what you did. And I know
Mhm.
that they were so grateful to take those photos on Instagram and
Yeah.
hold that trophy that they worked so hard for. I just hated that they were cheated of the moment to stand on the podium at the championships
Yeah.
after those efforts were done with those teammates whom
Yeah.
they were in the boats with. But the fact that they were still able to receive that tangible award
Mm-hmm.
as a reward for all their hard work, and you were the catalyst behind that. So think about it. If you
Thank
had
you.
not been bold enough,
Mm-hmm.
brash enough to say, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I want fairness.
Yeah.
And you created that. So I hope that those who are at Princeton understand what they have in you. Ooh, B. All right. Understand what they have in you and
Mhm.
can really value that, because not everyone is willing to take a stand.
Yeah.
And so I admire that so much about you.
Yeah. Well, like, shout out to the coaches and my
Absolutely.
teammates at Texas because
Yes.
it was like day 2 of or I think it was after the practice day even, and we were like, wow, like there's no signage at
Yeah.
the course.
Uh-huh.
The like, I don't know, there were just like a handful of issues. We were like, wow, we have to drive 45
minutes from the airport to, yes.
from our hotel to the course when, you know, Nathan Benderson wants to host it every year.
That's right.
You-
There's so many
yeah.
places that you could have it.
So yeah, we were like sitting around just being like, wow, like obviously we're gonna work with this, obviously, but
And you
we
really
just
couldn't
wish
see.
that the NCAA would put in a little bit more effort. And all of my teammates that I was sitting with and the coaches, they were like, hey, like, you have the platform to say something about this.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, you're right.
That's
I
right.
do.
That's right.
So shout out to them for pushing me to do it also.
So I want to switch a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So having that collegiate program, having all that success, you know, you are going into a new phase in rowing in life for you,
Mm-hmm.
where you're going from college to the training center to Make an Olympic team, make a world
Hopefully.
championship team. So, what advice would you give to someone who is getting ready to transition into that?
I think just stay determined, like you don't have to be one thing that I've started to realize, like going into the training center is like you don't have to be the best on the team. You don't have to be like the best team as long as you love the sport and you want to work hard and you want to get better and
Yes.
like you are willing to make those changes. Like when you're out on the water and the coach is like, "Hey, this is what you need to change," like listen to them. And like you don't have to be the best as long as you are willing to put in the work.
That's it.
So,
I love that.
yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? I am so grateful that I got a chance to speak
Yeah,
with
this
you.
was awesome.
And you took the time to talk with us here at Head of the Charles 2024. And I'm
Yes.
so happy I got to see you in the alum boat today.
I know.
And I'm just hoping that you'll be able to enjoy the remainder of the regatta
Yes, it's
and
gonna
just
be
have a
so,
blast.
so
And I'm
nice.
wishing you the best in your training going forward.
Thank
The
you.
remainder of 24 and the 25. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's so good to talk to you.
Likewise.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that was so fun.
Indeed. Thank you.
Do you want to be in my TikTok vlog
Of
about
course
the
I do.
Charles?
Of
Okay,
course.
so you want to give me a fist bump? Ready?
Yeah.
Go.